Hi and welcome to my channel. This is for the rising sign of Gemini for the rest of the month of September. It may kind of move into a bit of October, but we'll see what comes through with the cards. Other than that, I'll just say the other video that's not a card reading, the astrological highlights video, that's already up on the channel, and you'll find the link to that in the description box. The reason I always mention it is because it dovetails the card reading, because I speak about specific dates where there's certain aspects and how they actually might play out in the real world and how we can work with those aspects. And I've got it leading up to near the end of the month, so it's really still relevant. So it's worth taking a look at. Yeah, so let's jump in because you've got quite a pile here. So let's see what came through for the Gemini risers series. Well, that's nice. She's an asteroid. Nurturance, mothering, nurturance. So that's gentle vibes. 5th house. Okay. Nurturing creativity. Your creative house is covered by the sign of Libra. Creativity with relationships or creativity with others. Ascendant, there's your rising sign. First quarter moon. Okay, so this is going to be the time frame after the new moon, which happens to be, well, this month. The new moon is actually going to be an eclipse in sidereal Virgo. I think tropical is saying Virgo as well at the moment anyway, but yeah, so it's in Virgo. Over here it's going to be on the 22nd, so in some places it might be the 21st. So if we move to, it'll be near the end of the month anyway, that this time frame will be, because this is literally a week after. So you've got your new moon hitting here, and then a week later there's the first quarter. So that's good because it's not the third quarter, which is after a full moon. So that's good energy. So it's new and nurturing, bringing in the new. That's good. Yeah, and so it's also a week before the full moon, so it's smack in the middle. Yeah, so the time frame would be, I think, 28th to 29th, depending on where you're located. Because over here it'll be the 29th with that time frame. Pisces. Okay, so now we've got the 10th house, creativity with your ambitions and or career. Okay, Lilith. Ooh. Liberation and empowerment with something that you're nurturing your creativity in some way, Taurus. Okay, that's your 12th house, that's your Pisces house. Bringing some sort of finance, something with your creativity. That seems to be coming up at the moment. Okay, so this time frame is after the full moon. Now it could be, because I'm recording after the eclipse, so whether it's this time frame, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be uploading these, so I'm not entirely sure. But if it's after this time frame, so the 8th or the 7th with some people was when, some places is when the full moon eclipse happened, and that was in sidereal Aquarius. Tropical, I think, was saying it was Pisces, but I say sidereal. I go with True Sidereal because it actually pinpoints the locations by the size of the constellations. It doesn't chop the constellations in neat 30-degree sections. It takes into account the actual size if you're looking through a telescope. So that's why I go with sidereal, because the placements are more accurate. Way more accurate, because they're acknowledging the actual size of the constellations. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing with astrology, is where are things placed in the certain constellations? You know, anyway, that's a bit of a soapbox thing. Yeah, so that's if we're going with the full moon lunar eclipse, then that was on the 8th over here, or the 7th in some other places. So then we'd be looking at, say, from around the 7th to the 10th, or 7th to the 11th, depending on where you're located. So if you're seeing this after the fact, did something come up around that time? Now, the other point being, because I said this might spill into October, is around that time again in October might be a time to make a note to see what might come up or what needs to be worked on during that time, which will again be about the 7th or 8th, on or around the 7th or 8th, and the 3-day window there, because that's a 3-day window with the crescent. So that's full moon. Okay, so we've got first quarter, which is good, so starting off good, and then we've got the full moon. So it could be, because this is a first quarter, like first quarter and third quarter are squares when the moon and sun are squaring each other. So your first quarter square is directly after a new moon, and the third quarter square is directly after a full moon. So we've got first quarter here. So often when we're bringing something in that's new, we then have to make adjustments and changes to this new thing, you know. Nurturing your creativity in some way, some sort of, maybe it's skills or talents with like music, art, beauty, that sort of thing. Psychic abilities, ESP, that sort of thing as well, because that's Pisces. So it's a mix of Pisces and Leo kind of thing. Okay, what else have we got? Second house. Well, that's your Taurus house. And we were talking about money and finances before, because you've got Taurus in your 12th, in the Pisces house, and now you've got the Taurus house, which has Cancer. And there's your nurturing vibes. Because the Ceres asteroid often reminds me of the Cancer or Cancerian sign. Vesta does too a bit. Another moon phase. Okay, so this one's before. Okay, this one's the balsamic phase. So this guy happens before the new moon. So depending on how soon I can get this uploaded, you might actually be in this time frame by the time you're watching this. And that is going to be, well, the 22nd is the new moon eclipse in Virgo. So, well, over here. So if we go from like 21st, it's pulling it backwards because it's the, you know, the balsamic phase, the dark moon phase before the actual new moon. So we're looking at what we're looking at, I think the 18th, between the 18th and the 22nd, that 3-day window. So that's another time frame. Balsamic is about healing and going within, perhaps shadow work. Shadow work doesn't have to always necessarily be deep, dark and heavy. We do have Lilith, so maybe there is a need to go within for some reason so that you can clear something if that needs to be. But we started out with new moon energy. Okay, let's keep Hygeia. Okay. She's another asteroid. Now that, as the name suggests, it's not necessarily, though, about physical cleanliness and hygiene and health in that sense. She gives me Virgo vibes. But it can be things like addictions, which is a Pisces thing. But again, I wasn't getting the negative of it, though, because we started out with the new moon energy and the nurturing energy. But But it can be about like doom scrolling on social media, and that sort of thing as well. You know, cleaning up certain things. And see, that might be what in terms of shadow work, it might be about looking at what sort of bad habits might be holding you back from working on your creative ideas, nurturing your creative ideas. Okay, what else have we got? Another moon phase. Okay, now this guy is before the full moon. So that one's after. This one's just before. So this is the final parts of new moon energy. Again, it could either be the time frame before the eclipse happened, 7th or 8th. So that's what, around about between the 6th and the 8th, that 3-day window before the sidereal Aquarius eclipse, or it's next month again, which will be around the same time with the next new moon. And I didn't check what sign that'll be in, but could be Pisces though, actually. But I'll have to double check on that one. So that's the balsamic phase, and this is the final part. So this one is before that, and then this one is after that. That sort of, because you've got your quarter, and then it moves closer. From there, it moves closer to the full moon, hence that. And then you've got that one moving after the fact as well, after the full moon's happened. Okay, what's this? Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the Aquarius eclipse. Normally, when this card comes through, before it happens, then it's sort of like a kind of warning to, but I see, this is the thing with these eclipses. It's not just a few days here and there of the actual eclipse event. These guys are souped up. They're huge power. Not just a regular new or full moon where you've got a bit of energy running around for a couple of days before and after or whatever, in different sort of energies, whether it's balsamic or whether it's the final bits of new moon energy or whatever. But this, especially this one, but both eclipses, we actually feel the energies of them, and things start happening in our lives like similar to a retrograde. If you've already seen this, you know what I'm going to say. But those of you who haven't seen these videos before and might not know, these guys, there's a minimum 3-month window either side where we feel the energies, like leading up to it and then after the fact. So, and with Hygeia, there's a need to clear up and clear out certain bad habits, I think, is what's going on. Now, this guy is in sidereal Aquarius, which is in your 9th house. Expansion, growth, the wider world, philosophy, religion, organized religion, higher learning, like university, study, all that sort of thing. It's also about travel. Sag is also about freedom, because it's your Sag house. Aquarius is covering your Sag house, you know, the freedom to do certain things, because also that's something that Lilith likes, liberation, freedom and empowerment. So there's the need for that, because she's right there. Between the 10th house and the 12th, which is ironic because Aquarius is also linked with the 11th house, which is, you know, you've got your 10th and 12th. So 10, 11, 12 is what I'm saying. Consecutive. Okay. Okay, for those of you who don't know, because this is the thing as well, I seem to sort of go back, like I'm a little all over the place. That's just me. I'm sorry. That's how I am. If you don't like it, then you don't have to stay. But if you're okay with it, let's keep going. But yeah, anyway, what I'm going to say about this is that with this particular eclipse, the full moon one, because the new moon one is like new moon, bringing in the new, starting new things, and having that new energy, that, you know, starting on things, seeing things start to build up, and you know, that you want to manifest and whatever, and bring in for yourself and or others, you know, like for yourself and anyway. But this one is asking you to be brutally honest with yourself about things that you need to change for the better. See, habits and cleaning out, you know, cleaning out whatever's holding you back, clearing the way. Because that's the whole point of clearing the way, so that you have the opening for bringing in the new, which ironically happens to be also an eclipse in Virgo. Where's Virgo for you? Virgo's in the 4th, I think. Yeah, Virgo's in your 4th house, which is your Cancerian house. It's ironic because, again, Cancer in your 2nd. So there's that sort of connection there about healing finances, because we've got Taurus here. Some sort of, wow, okay, some sort of sabotage with finances in some way, with your career. Maybe you haven't been saving some of your pay or something, or there's been some, maybe you need to look into budgeting something for something. 9th house is about travel. Or have you been sort of spending up on travel, going around you know, taking trips, and then, you know, because a lot of the time it can happen where people go on holidays and they haven't really budgeted, and then they blow their budget, and then they've got pretty much no money to pay their bills when they get back home, kind of thing. You know, it could be something like that, sort of needing to clean that up, needing to sort your budgeting out. But there's some sort of creativity that's needed, that you've got to nurture. And how you're seen in this situation, because that's your ascendant. But yeah, what I always say with the full moon lunar eclipse is that, as I was saying before, you've got this particular moon phase eclipse asks you to be brutally honest with yourself about what you're clinging on to, that you're, or you've got the blinkers on, that you're not looking, you're going la 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 la, and you're not looking at what's behind, kind of thing, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, but anyway, yes, things you're either avoiding. If you're brutally honest with yourself, you know that you're avoiding certain things, or avoiding dealing with something, or avoiding accepting something, or avoiding letting go of something. But, you know, again, if you're clinging on to it for dear life, And especially if you're brutally honest with yourself, that you know it's actually no good for you, that it's not helping, it's holding you back, it's hindering you, you got to clear it out. Because if you don't do that yourself, if you don't do the work, this guy's going to come along and unceremoniously rip it out from under you, kind of thing. And you know, you really don't want that, because you're going to be in a whole world of pain if you don't do the work yourself. Because as I say, if you're not brutally honest with yourself when the eclipses, like the lunar eclipses, rock up, then they will be brutally honest with you. And the problem is, things get ripped out, and like, if you can imagine certain tendrils connecting to different things, and this guy comes along and goes like that, other things are going to go with it, kind of thing. And you're going to be sort of trying to pick up the pieces after the fact, and you really don't want to be doing that. So with the lunar, especially with the lunar eclipse, you want to be in the driver's seat yourself, having control of what's going on. And the way you do that is by being honest with yourself. And that's not always easy, but it's quite, it's necessary and tough. And that's the thing that Lilith also likes you to be honest with yourself, because she's not wearing a mask. She doesn't care how people see her. She doesn't give a crap, you know. This is her. This is how she is. Like it or don't, stay or go, kind of thing. And so that's the same sort of energy in that sense, that she wants you to take stock, take a hard look at what needs to be cleaned up. Because this is the problem. This guy can hit at any point within those 3-month windows. Because I've been hit a few times in the past with lunar eclipses, and I can tell you, it is not pretty, it is not pleasant, it is painful, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But here, this is usually giving you a heads up. Do the work, because otherwise this wouldn't have come out. It might also be specifically between these phases too, because like, that's the balsamic healing, by cleaning things up, by, you know, taking on Lilith energy, I want to say, you know, and not being afraid to really take a look at what's going on and what is helping you and what is hindering you. So we're looking at between the phases, if that's the case, because this is taking my attention at the moment. The balsamic phase, what did I say, the 18th or something like that? And then through the new moon phase, and then to the end, which will be near, if we're looking at October's full moon, that will be around about the 4th or 5th to the 8th of October. That time frame might be the perfect time to work on clearing out what's blocking you and holding you back. Because again, if you do nothing about it, which that's your choice, but believe me, you don't want to be hit by this guy. Let me tell you. I say guy because it's strong energy and it's unpleasant. It's not nurturing in the slightest, as far as I'm concerned, if you get hit by a full moon lunar eclipse. I laugh, but it's not funny, because I've been hit a couple of times. It's not nice at all. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what is going on. That something needs to be cleared up in some way, so that then you can tap into nurturing your creative ability, your creative you might have something you're wanting to work on, or being creative within your relationships, because this is also about romance here. It's covered by Libra, and the Leo part of it, being the Leo house, it covers romance and love affairs. You know, creativity, children, romance, love affairs, that sort of thing. I mean, it could be, see, this is a thing, love affairs. It doesn't have to be, you know, strangers in the night kind of thing. It could be, you know, within a relationship, you know. You can sort of rebuild that love, or sort of have a sort of experience with your partner that's like having a love affair kind of thing. Hopefully I'm making sense with that, because it's a sort of nurturing and creativity thing, and Libra's there, so it's sort of, otherwise it's nurturing friendships. But see, something is needing to be sorted first, because see, this is new moon energy, as is this. Well, actually, no, this. But this is balsamic, so this is healing energy. So the only ones is like this big guy, and then that full moon. I think that it's the full moon in October that we're talking about with the regular phase, but this guy's definitely the one we just had. The Aquarius eclipse. So friendships, groups, social circles, and see, that's the wider world. So there might be something about like the internet, groups over the internet, because that, you know, the wider world, we connect that way. And see, this is the lunar eclipse, so we're looking at something in that sense that might be toxic in some way, negative in some way, stressful in some way, and that's what you're needing to look at, perhaps during these time frames here with these, you know, which will then open the way for fresh and new to come in, that you can work on. You can work on being creative. Maybe there's creative projects with friends or with partners. You know, Libra's about the other. You can mix the Libra and the Leo, 5th house Leo, energies together that way, working with others on some sort of creative project. And it has some sort of connection with either self-worth and or your money, finances, or something in some way. Financing something, because we were talking about budgeting before. Maybe there's some sort of money needing to be put into some sort of project. Look into all the pros and cons with that before you jump in, because that might also be something to be wary of, so you're not going to screw yourself over and get a tower event, because that's really what happens when you get hit with a lunar eclipse. Is like the tarot card, the tower. It's like you're thrown out without even, you know, before you even know what's hit you, kind of thing. You don't want to be like that. You want to be having the, you know, not being controlling, but having the control of things, so you're not going to get that. You're not going to be thrown out of the, you know, proverbial tower. You know, you're going to manage it and balance it, because Libra's about balance as well. Balancing how your creative projects, balancing working with others. Saturn, the part of you that accepts challenge to gain wisdom. Well, that's a challenge, isn't it? And you will gain wisdom one way or the other. Either this guy kicks your ass, or you actually, you know, take the wheel and go, no, I'm gonna be in control. I'm going to be strong, Lilith. You know, I'm gonna take on board Lilith's what is it, persona in a way. You know, in terms of not being afraid to take the blinkers off and look at what might be holding you back, might be an issue, might be a toxic. It may not fully be toxic. It depends on, you know, what's going on in your personal life, but it's something that's holding you back in some way. So there's the possibility of it becoming toxic, and that's where, see, even though it's very painful if you don't do the work with this guy, this energy is about removing obstacles, removing things that are not working for you, or that they're holding you back in some way. It doesn't logically think, it just, or it doesn't emotionally think, if that makes sense. The energies don't emotionally think. They're just like, that's not working for you, that's not good, we've got to get rid of it. So either this guy's going to take the wheel or you do. It's your choice. But so if you do decide to be courageous, and it'll be empowering and liberating for you to look into this and go, right, okay, now I see what's holding me back. I've looked into it. This will show you as well. These energies will give you the opportunity to see what might be the issue, but whether or not you keep your blinkers on as to whether you're going to look into it and go, what sort of things can I do and adjustments can I make in order to not get hit by the eclipse, you know, and then clear the way so I can bring this nurturing, creative energy in a healthy way. Because I mentioned healthy because we've got the new moon eclipse in Virgo. So Virgo likes healthy things, organised, and Saturn likes things to be long-term, slow, methodical. Virgo's methodical as well. And so you can jump into that energy in a healthy, productive way once you have cleared away whatever this issue is that's holding you back. It's going to be different for different people, but yeah, this seems to be at the moment what's going on. Mars, take action, yes. Gemini, well, there you go. There's your rising sign, the butterfly. Communication. Well, you would be communicating with the other, you know, people. Like I said, some sort of, perhaps something to do with some sort of group or group of people or something like that needs to be let go of in some way, I would say. Particularly if you, one, are honest with yourself and you can see that there's something about it that's holding you back, that's stopping you from being able to nurture your creativity and or share creative energy with others, you know, work on creations and that with others, because whatever this, you know, Aquarius mix of Aquarius and Sag, because it's Sag house that's in for you, which happens to be also, wait, no, we didn't get Sagittarius, because I was going to say Sagittarius is your descendant, but no, it's the Sag house. Mercury, communication. Well, Mercury's your ruling planet, also the ruling planet of Virgo, which the new moon will be, the new moon eclipse will be in. But you've just got to clear the way first to be able to enjoy those energies coming in. And Lilith can help you with that and empower you and liberate you as a result of working with you to clear away the obstacles and the blockages. Look, Jupiter expansion, yeah. Ruling planet of Sag house. Conjunction empowerment, what did I say? Lilith empowerment and liberation, yes. So you just need to look at this and deal with it, deal with what might be holding you back, and then you can move forward to be creative in whether it's in your relationships or working on some sort of creative endeavor in some way. But there's room for expansion and growth once you clear the way. And I think those time frames are specifically important for clearing out whatever might be the ish that needs to get away. You got a few of these, so they may or may not have reversals. We'll walk through it if there is. Okay, all right, we've straight away got a reversal. Saturn, structure. Well, that makes sense because something, like I said, with Saturn, Capricorn, Virgo energies, they like to have things organized, detail-oriented, taking the time with things. And here we don't seem to have the structure working yet, but that can change once you clear something up, because that's the blockage to having your structure and your longevity. Mercury messages. Well, this is upright. You're going to get, if not already, you're going to get the information you need that the eclipse will bring to you. You know, Mercury as well will bring the information to you that needs to help you, the information you need to help you work through whatever this is to clear the way so that you can get the benefits of the Virgo eclipse. Conjunction, alliance. Now we got conjunction empowerment. Now we've got it upright again. See, everyone flying in perfect formation where perhaps they haven't been, and there's something that can be done to clear the way so that everyone will be working together in perfect formation, you know, flying together in the same way. Capricorn, achieve. That's in reverse, obviously. Yeah, Cap's in your 8th, I think. Yeah, because Sagittarius your 7th. Yeah, Capricorn's in your 8th, which is shared resources. Well, that makes sense. Haven't been able to achieve things because maybe there's one or more people that aren't willing to share and work together and be balanced, like Libra likes, to work together on something creative. So, yeah, that needs to be addressed. South Node, past. Well, we don't want to be sticking in our South Node. We need to move away from that. I think perhaps, yeah, because we're talking about being held back, because that's upright. No wonder it's upright, because these guys are in reverse as well. Something's keeping you in your South Node, or someone else is stuck in their South Node and it's holding you back. The past. Holding on to the past? Holding on to a grudge? Ooh, see, that's a Virgo thing. But Virgo's the new moon, so we're looking at Aquarius. Holding on to something that's not healthy for you. It's got to do with groups and ninth house themes, like Sag themes, like I walked through earlier. You know, whether it's about some sort of university studies, there's some issue with that in some way that's sort of blocking you from being able to move forward, or a teacher that's you're not connecting well with or something. That just came through. Might be for someone specific. And maybe you might need to change up classes or something in some way. I don't know how it all works. But maybe there's some sort of way you can change things to go, you know, study with someone else so that you can then move forward and your creativity will be appreciated and nurtured better. But yeah, either you or someone else is stuck in the past and it's holding you back one way or the other. and it needs to be cleared. What's this? Venus, beloved. And see, Venus is the ruling planet of Libra. And Venus is about not just who you value, but what you value, but it's also including yourself, your self-worth, you know, valuing yourself, because we're looking at the past here. If something's holding you back, you're probably not feeling all that valuable, if that makes sense. Perhaps someone else doesn't know your worth or doesn't treat you in a way that respects and appreciates your worth, you know. Maybe it's you that doesn't know you, doesn't realize your worth. And you have to change that and move towards the North Node. That's the idea through our lives, that we, you know, move past. You know, it can be difficult too, because if, especially the South Node, can have that sort of Chiron connection of if there's been something we've gone through in our early years that sort of has cemented a sort of belief system, or well, we did have Jupiter and we do have ninth house, so it could be some sort of way that we, or perception that we believe, because remember Aquarius is in your ninth, so that's why I'm jumping into Sag themes, because it's Sag themes covered by the sign of Aquarius. So your belief systems around friendships, groups, social circles, quite frankly, it's also 11th house. Aquarius themes can be about hopes, wishes, dreams. Do you perceive yourself to be worthy enough? Do you treat yourself as beloved? Do you see yourself as worthy enough for your hopes, wishes, dreams, or are you stuck in the past, wanting things to be better, but in the back of your mind feeling you're not worthy enough for it? But you are. That's the thing. Venus has come through and said, yes, you are. Lilith has come through and said, yes, you are. Own it. Lilith wants you to own it. Own your self-worth. Because that's going to unlock the door to opening the way to nurturing your own creativity and how you'll be seen by the world. And here's the new moon reiterating. See, the first quarter is reiterating. Are you still working on your hopes, wishes, dreams? Bam. And this is also new moon in Virgo, so it's eclipse, so it's a big deal with, you know, new moon bringing in the new, the wishes you want in a healthy way, being in Virgo. That's in your fourth house as well, so that's the home and family. And here we've got Cancerian vibes again, the Cancerian house. Coming home to yourself, I want to say. Not being so fixated on how you're seen in groups, or trying to be appreciated by people who don't really have it in them, I guess. There are some people that are like that, that are very shallow and really don't care about other people very much. You know, they care about how they look or how things look or whatever. And they don't value friendships and the worth, the emotional, or, you know, the worth of people. And that might be something that's going on. Perhaps that your perception needs to be looked at in terms of how much are you putting forward of yourself and not getting a return from it, you know? How much are you investing in friendships that aren't giving back? Or groups or whatever. Friend groups or whatever. the need to step out of your South Node, and the way to do that is to take on the energies of Lilith, perhaps, per se. Ask Lilith for help, quite frankly, if you're open to that, because she will help. If you are open-minded enough to look into things and take a hard look at, okay, what am I clinging on to that's really a lost cause kind of thing and holding me back, Can I clear it? Can I step back a little bit? Can I let it completely go? It's going to be different for different people, but that's pretty much it, because then it's going to open the way for you to nurture your creativity. There's something important in that sense, whether it's just a creative way to make friends or have friends or experience friendships. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure with that one. What do I want to say here, Spirit? I think the creative idea, like I was pointing to working on creative pursuits or whatever, some sort of project or something like that, perhaps with others. But it could be creative in the sense of what you've been used to, that if you're brutally honest with yourself, has never really worked for you. So being creative and having a different way, gaining wisdom, accepting challenge to gain wisdom, having a different way of showing yourself to the world, perhaps, and not lowering your standards, not lowering yourself like you've been used to, maybe. And in that sense, you're being creative about how you will approach friendships and relationships, which will be healthier and work in your favour. Okay. All right. Hopefully I'm helping someone out here and making some sense with all this. But yeah, it's sort of been a little bit all over the place, but hopefully it has made sense. Now we'll jump into the numerology. You've got a few of them. Spiritual career. Yeah, see, nurturing your creativity, spiritual career, because we had Pisces, right? Pisces sign and Pisces house. And we had the money, the finance thing, second house, and Taurus as well. Spiritual career. Heart chakra. 7, the mind and creativity. 8, strength, stability, and money. And 7 and 8 comes to a 6, focus, detail, dignity, and temporary opportunity. Jump in and grab it now. Manifestation. There you go, another 8. And the heart chakra again. I'm going to not cover that because I think this is important, this one, because I think this is where you can make a big difference in your own life, where you can transform. I'm surprised that Pluto didn't rock up here. But we did get 8th house, didn't we? And also Lilith sort of gives me the Scorpio, Ophiuchus, 8th house vibes. I think we did get the Scorpio house. Where did that? Oh, Capricorn. Yeah. Because I remember that's the shared resources house. Patience. Have patience with this, because, yeah, if it is something, an issue with your South Node, you're going to have patience with yourself and not be critical. But with the new moon in Virgo, new is coming in, so it's good that it's not full moon in Virgo, because you might be overly critical then about yourself, or others might have been overly critical with you where they didn't need to be, 2, number of relationships, and this is the sacral chakra, which is about creativity, healing, and relationships. Spiritual partnership. I said the other partnerships. Here we go. Spiritual career, spiritual partnership. So yeah. Looks like something wants to come in and you can work with others. But I think that the change, I'm getting transformation. Like I said, Pluto didn't come, but Lilith did come through. And you're always going to have transformation one way or the other with a lunar full moon eclipse anyway. With or without Pluto being in the reading. But yeah, you've got a real opportunity to make big changes, clear out the gunk, to move into healthier relationships. Remember, Virgo's the new moon eclipse, healthier relationships, where you will be seen, because this is how the world sees you, right? This is your ascendant, this one. You will be seen in a healthy way, a way you want to be seen. And here we've got the relationship number, by the way, and 7, the mind and creativity. And we had the sacral chakra color again. 2 and 7 is 9, big beginnings, big endings. You can't get much bigger endings than a lunar eclipse. Talking of endings, karmic completion, clear it out. It's time to clear some karma. We talk about this sort of thing in the spiritual circles all the time, about trying to clear your karma and all that sort of thing. This is a big chance for you to do that. And this card, when this card comes through, I always think with the grey colour, right? It reminds me of, stay with me on this, it reminds me of the crown chakra. And yes, the crown chakra does not have grey, but in this instance, because there's been issues, see how the grey was with Hygeia, and it gives me the lack of clear focus in terms of your crown chakra being kind of, might not be blocked, but it might have been a bit confused, foggy, because you've had this issue running in the background. And it's time to clear it away and make some real big changes in your life, which are going to open things up. Spiritual career, spiritual partnership, bam. And with a karmic completion, something karmic, getting rid of something karmic, is going to open the way, because here we've got the base chakra, which is grounding, stability and security, which can also be material security, back to the financial thing. 1, personal power, and 0 is, the wheel of karma. It's giving me because isn't the wheel of fortune in tarot the 10? I'm pretty sure it's number 10, the Wheel of Fortune in tarot. So there you go. You can control this Wheel of Fortune. See? Back to what I was saying before. You get in the driver's seat. You have the power. You have the control. Music. Here we go. Music. Pisces. I mentioned music earlier. And now we've got the solar plexus, yellow, here, because we already had the sacral a couple of times. Now we've got the solar plexus, and that's, ambition, self-worth, which Lilith wants you to have by cleaning up whatever this is first. Action, activity, youth, newness, and communication with 3. 2 is the relationship number again, and then 2 and 3 is 5, which is freedom and change. And personal growth, guys. Oh, this is going to be a big one for you guys. It's like the eclipses want to, how do I say it? They want to help you. They want to hold your hand through this. They want to say, here, let us help you. Let us walk you through this. Look at this, which might seem really harsh and difficult, and you don't want to deal with it. But by doing that, it's going to then go and make this now the North Node that you're moving towards what you're wanting to do, because you were courageous enough to go, right, I don't care how other people perceive me in those groups or that group or whatever, or that couple of people, that however size the group is or whatever. I don't care how they perceive me because they haven't given to me anyway, you know. There hasn't been a balance of things. It's been imbalance. Remember, the structure hasn't been there. Saturn was in the reverse. Mind and creativity again, yeah. And so being courageous enough so that you can clear the way, let go of what's holding you back, remember, so that can be turned around and you can move towards your North Node that way, because then you get empowerment, freedom and change and liberation. Wow. Okay, so these are the universe speaking to you directly about abundance. So let's see what they have to say for you. Hopefully this isn't going to cut out. That's why I have them already pre-pulled before I start the reading, because the phone used to cut out on me and it was just really heartbreaking and I hated it. Anyway, I'm not going to use up too much time. Let's keep going. I don't want it cutting out. Every single day I'm pressing out and reeling in the abundance you're making room for in your life. As I observe everything you think, say, and do. Yeah, I'm not so fond of the reeling in part. Pressing my heart out, the universe. Yeah. Because the reeling in means like you're blocking something, you're allowing something to be blocked, so then the universe is having to pull it back. And then, you know, and then when you open the clear things and open the way and accept this manifestation that wants to come for you, then it's pressing out. The universe is pressing out and going, here's what you wanted. Boom. Treat yourself as a beloved. And you will then get the relationships of all sorts that you're after. Really and truly, money just isn't that important. Now, before you have a conniption, by all means, pursue it, spend it, and roll around in it. But just don't let it become how the rest of your dreams will come true. I know how. Just dream your dreams, the universe, yeah. You'll be fine once you clear this up. You've just got to have the courage and the you know, strength of will, I want to say, like Lilith, to go, you know what, I'm not going to care about how, you know, people perceive me that haven't done anything for me, that I've done all this for. What, you know, I don't know what your situation is, but that's sort of an example that keeps coming through for some reason. Actually, it's not that you want stuff that you don't have, but that you want stuff that you think you don't have. And the best way to change this is to begin thinking that you have it. As in, oh, there's my electric fully loaded Halbatron cloud zapper. Rain, please, the universe. Yeah, rain, please, because look, it's dry desert. You need rain. And you'll get the rain to nurture your crop when you turn this guy around, which I've kept him upside down now because you get why. Because you'll be able to turn him upside down, so you're no longer stuck in the south node when you clear that. Okay, so this. Quick, what's the shortest distance between have and have not? Right, what distance? You're there. The universe, yeah. So it's time to stop thinking and feeling that you don't have what you need, because it's right in front of you. Once you clear that, you'll see and you'll feel empowered and liberated and want to move forward with healthier relationships. That's fantastic. Thinking different thoughts than you have ever thought before is the only path to answers, healing, new genes, or anything that glitters. And you know how good you look in new genes, the universe. Okay. Look at that. See, from arid, what did we have? The desert pictures. And look, this one's, we've got some water, so we're watering it. And then now we've got, look, the trees growing, and then you could say, and look, you've got your flowers. You'll get your flowers. Yes, you'll get your flowers because you'll get the spiritual career. The group of people that weren't giving you your flowers, they can go because you're going to find people that will give you your flowers. And that's a big deal, and that will help your south node to turn upside down, which means you'll be moving to your north node. So yeah, look, growth to the sun, which is happiness. If more people knew how admired they already are, they'd be even more admirable. Same for knowing how cool, fun, healthy, wealthy, and wise they already are, and zippy. In admiration, the universe. Yeah, so the universe admires you. You need to admire yourself and see your own worth. And if someone else doesn't, then goodbye to them. You know, possessing fabulous wealth creates a lot of responsibilities, enormous responsibilities, huge. Something to think about, really. Like for 5 minutes a day in a dark and quiet room, see yourself being really, really responsible with fabulous wealth. I think you're up to it, the universe. Yeah. See, that's where I was thinking the money thing's going to come through. Everything's going to literally turn around once you work through this with the Lilith energy, which will turn your south node around in terms of you not being stuck in it and moving towards your north node, which will have healthy relationships, healthy ways of nurturing your creativity and talents and feeling like you're seen and accepted and appreciated, you know. And that's important. Treat yourself as beloved, and then you will receive that as well. Okay, guardian angels, what do they want to say? Well, guardian angel, trust, all unfolds in perfect timing. You are one with divine will. Focus only on love, and all you truly desire will manifestation, in the most perfect, at the most perfect moment. Be patient. We got patience somewhere too, didn't we? Yeah, there, patience. Be patient. Are your guardian angel and watching over you. Self-criticism, I laugh, but it's not funny. We, your angels, because I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart, see, so being self-criticism, like self-critical, is something I do from quite often. But anyway, we, your angels, ask you to please be more compassionate towards yourself. Observe the times when you have critical thoughts about you and make an effort to replace these negative thoughts with positive, loving ones. See, treat yourself as beloved. You are a wondrous being of light. Even if at times you think you are less than perfect, remember that God and divine perfection exist in all things. Yeah, complete that cycle of self-criticism. Over. Goodbye. Acceptance. Exactly. There is nothing about you that you need to fix. Reclaim the designed parts of you that yearn for your love and, I was going to say for your love and acceptance. There you go. You are beautiful just as you are, regardless of any faults you may perceive you have. You are an eternally radiant being of light. Accept all that you are and just be you. Like Lilith, she doesn't care about who thinks what about her. She's just going to be her, and that's that. You are beautiful just as you are, regardless of any faults you may perceive you have. You are an eternally radiant being of light. Accept all that you are and just be you. When you truly accept yourself, your whole world will magically and lovingly transform. What have we been talking about? Thank you, Spirit. This is really a culmination of what we've been seeing in the reading. Okay, what else? Prayer. Dear God, help me always to remember that this present life is but a fleeting moment within eternity. Help me always to remember that this life is but a dream. Help me always to remember that you exist within everyone and everything. Help me always to remember that love is all there is and all else is an illusion. Thank you. And this is self-love as well. I want to say, okay, what else have we got? invitation. We, your guardian angels, ask you to invite us into your heart. Talk to us at any time. Share with us your fears and concerns as well as your joys and pleasures. There is no need to be formal, for we have known you since before the dawn of time. In fact, we know you better than you know yourself, and we love you just as you are. There you go. Hopefully this is all in camera. Sometimes I don't get the angle very well, but anyway. Balance. Talking of that, and balance, Libra. Difference is a necessary part of human evolution, and everything in life is comprised of opposites, which together make life whole. If you light a candle in a room already flooded with light, the light of your candle would be indistinguishable from the light which already exists. Because of darkness, you learn, because of darkness, we are able to perceive light. Both are necessary. Thank you for the lessons that, the lessons that we felt crap in, but they helped us to grow, kind of thing. Dreams. Yes, I was hoping that we'd end on something good, because it was like, yeah, this is true, but it's not really, like a happy ending kind of thing I wanted, and this is it for you. This is a wondrous time of healing. Remember the balsamic phase, and positive transformation. And it's also Virgo new moon and positive transformation. Embrace life each moment and keep focused on your dreams. Retain the purity of your vision and you will draw success to you. All you ever wished for, even that which seemed a distant dream, is about to manifest. There you go. I'm going to put it on there because that's the manifestation card. And I think we're done. Drop the mic. Yeah, just have the courage to look into what it might be that's blocking you, which has probably got something to do with certain groups or a certain group that you're probably putting too much of yourself into and getting nothing back, or being sabotaged by them in some way. Look into that, because it might be a group that has some sort of certain philosophy that's really not gelling with you that well. Maybe it could be that too, because remember, it's a mix of Aquarius versus Sagittarius. It's a mixing of the both. So you look into the themes of both those signs and you'll work out what it might be in your personal life that might be the situation to work on. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you find this helpful. And I really do wish you all the best of luck with this, because so much wants to be better for you once you clear this issue, and Lilith wants to be here to help you. And so does the eclipse, really, because the only way you're going to get your butt kicked is if you do none of the work and you just completely ignore everything. But if you're willing to be courageous enough to do the work and look into what could be the issue, ask Lilith for help in that, to be courageous enough to not be overly concerned about what other people think or might think. They may not even end up thinking that. It might be your perception again that you worry. Perhaps you might worry a bit too much about it, but don't. And be like Lilith in that, stand strong and know your worth. So you can get out of the South Node in that sense, at least, so you can move forward to your North Node, because all this new wants to come in. And the music thing, we got music, didn't we? So it might be either some music might be part of what you're wanting to create in some way, or it might be that music will help you to work through this issue, in some way as well. Or at least maybe it might be something that you can as a side thing. You could probably listen to a favorite tune, dance to it, shake your body around in terms of shaking up the stagnant energy, bringing in new, easier energy, letting go of the heavy energy. It could be that, listen to the music of your heart and manifest your dreams. it'll be all systems go once you clear the way, and you'll have empowerment and liberation, and that is important, I think. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there and really wish you all the best of luck with September and onwards. And until next time, bye for now.